All right, hello everyone. So today, the big thing we'll be doing is adding music and sound effects, or at least the ability to do music and sound effects to the game using the SDL extension SDL mixer. So we're going to go through the same process, more or less, that we did to add SDL TTF a few episodes ago to add fonts. So we'll do that with Mixer, and we've got a sound file ready. And I'll go ahead and get you the link to that so that you can start downloading it. So that should be it. Yes. Okay, I'm putting that link into chat. Oh, we need to update the title too. Did that link come through in chat? My dashboard is not reliably showing what I type. Okay, title should be updated. Okay, cool. Sounds like you got the link. So gameswithgo.org/rpg/music.zip. And for now, that's just one music file. And we'll copy that over later. That's just so you guys can start downloading it. All right, one fix that we need to do before we start that, though, from last time, is when we go from one level to another, the centering of the UI is all goofed up until we move for a while. And that is because of this logic right here. So we have a limit of 5, and that lets the player move around up to 5 cells from the center before we adjust the center. What we need to do here is, instead of increasing the center by 1 if they're beyond the limit, is we need to put them back within the limit. So we need to say that the difference is equal to UI center X. Sorry. Level.player.x minus UI.centerX plus limit. I think that logic is correct. This should just be the reverse. And for Y, all right, let's give it a try. Oh, no good for the backwards case. So This is it. Doing even basic arithmetic on stream, not good for me. Okay, we got it, and it's going to be the same thing here, I think. Okay, and now we did it. Cool. Let's put let's make the link two-way again. Just to make sure it works both ways. All right. Great. All right. So that is fixed. And we can remove that to do. That is no longer something we need to do. Okay, next up. Close FileZilla. So SDL Mixer, if you are on Linux or Mac, your job is pretty easy. You'll just use whatever package manager your operating system has, and you'll install libsdl2 -mixer -dev, and you'll be done. So I will walk through the horrible steps we have to do on Wednesdays. Okay, so we need to go to this link, the SDL2 Mixer link here. And we need to get the Windows development libraries, and we need the MinGW version, because we're using the GCC compiler in the little MinGW environment that we have downloaded previously. So grab this and open it up. And we want the x86-64. Unless, of course, you're on a 32-bit machine, then you need to get the other one. Okay, so open up the your MinGW folder, wherever you installed it in the original SDL episode. And you need to drill down all the way into here. So we've got bin include lib on our computer, and bin include lib on the thing we downloaded. And you'll want to just copy everything from bin. Oh, don't want to open that. Everything from bin into bin, then back out again. Everything from include SDL2. This is just the header file, which tells the C compiler what's going on. And then lib. Again, we should be able to highlight everything, drag it over. Okay. We should be good now. Our compiler's environment should have all the stuff it needs to compile the C bindings. So we'll go back to the Go bindings, SDL2 bindings page. And we need to run go get for SDL Mixer. So this here. Go get -v. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Okay, so you'll need to run that whether or not you're on Linux or Mac. Everyone's got to do that. Okay, so I think at this point we can include mixer package. Yep. Okay, so now let's try when we start up playing some music. Where is our, so in new, we should be able to do it. Do we have a separate init? Yes, we do. Okay, so we are already calling SDL init everything, TTF init. I think we will need to call mix.init as well. Oh, it needs an argument. Flags. Okay. Let's see what flags it needs. Let's go look directly at the source for the bindings. We'll look for init flags. Okay, so you need to tell init which formats you're going to be using. And we are going to be loading an OGG file, so we're going to want init OGG in there. You can use any music file you want, so if you wanted an MP3 or something, pick the appropriate flag here. So we'll do and you can OR these together to get multiple flags if you want multiple. If you want to support OGG and MP3, for instance, you can OR those together, bitwise OR the flags together. Okay, so I think we are initted now. So the file we're going to start with is just some ambient dungeon music. That's how the author described it. And this is from YD on OpenGameArt. So his or her page is here on OpenGameArt. I got lots of stuff. They have a nice ambient sort of dungeon sound we're going to use for background music. Mal runtime exception asks, is that a 44K sample or 48K sample? I have no idea. I don't know anything about music. I guess maybe we'll find out when we try to load it. So we'll see. All right, so let's extract this. And let's grab both the music file and the credits and bring it into our project. Jackmot, RPG. So it's going to go in the assets folder with our tiles and stuff and our font. I'm just going to call this ambient.ogg. All right. Okay, so we'll start playing the music here and see how it goes. So I found a good sample, like simple sample of using SDL Mixer here. So we'll try to follow this pattern. So we've already got init happening. We have to initialize. There's more initializing we have to do. So open audio. Let's try it. So we got frequency, format, channels, and chunk size. So let's just use these values as a starting point, and we'll find out if they're okay. And if anyone's an audio programming guru who has suggestions on what these settings should be, feel free to chime in. Okay, so that opens up our audio. And we want to load music. So there's a load music that takes a path. Any other arguments? No. So we'll get back music and an error. So play music with music file. Oh, so the SDL2 API uses the kind of C API pattern where you say mix, play music. They don't really have methods that are parts of objects. But the SDL2 bindings make it more idiomatic to go. So that play function is probably on the music struct, and sure enough, there it is. Loops. So I think if you say -1, it'll loop forever. Let's see if we can find that in the documentation. Play music. Yeah, -1 plays forever. If you program for a long time, you get intuition for that. But should always check the documentation. Okay, so that might be it. Let's see what happens. OGG support not available. Why not? Let's see. Oh, we might need to install OGG Vorbis. Those came in the libraries here. What happens if I'm going to try putting these files in our executable folder just to see. No. In the same directory as SDL mixer DLL. libogg, libvorbis file. Those are the ones. Why would it not be finding them? Let's see. It might be a recent bug. Let's see. Well, that would be annoying, wouldn't it? So this says if we ignore the return flag, it might still work. So let's try that. And let's clean out our, should not need those there because they're in the C compiler's environment. Can you guys hear it? Yeah, it's working. All right, thank you, S Smashing SF. Good call on that bug find. It's kind of spooky. All right, we've got a nice background sound. Let's add sound effects on top of it. So there's lots of sound effects we could do. We could do things like a door opening sound, footsteps, and so on. So let's go to Open Game Art and see what there is. Oh wow, an RPG sound pack. There's swoosh sounds, of course. Open creaky door sound. Trying to see if there's like a locking sound. Let's see what these are. Belt, book, chop, cloth, creak, door closed, door open, footsteps. Let's try this one. It's got footsteps and door sounds, which are things we'll definitely want. So let's give it a try. Do you include a license in here? You did. And this CC0 license means you can basically do whatever you want. You should always give credits even if they say it's not mandatory. Be a good person. Okay. So I'm going to add this to, I'm going to actually add this to the music zip. So we'll just make a sound zip. So sounds, so you guys can download it from here. I'll put it in chat. But I will also have it on my website at in fact, let me copy it up there real quick. Okay, so it's also up on the website at gameswithgo.org/rpg/sounds.zip. So I'm just going to copy the ones we actually are going to try for now. So I'm going to do door close 1, footstep 0. Why does door close start at 1 and footsteps start at 0? What's up with that? All right, adding that to the assets folder. Let's see what these sound like before we mess with the names. We'll probably change those names. All right. So we could potentially have a lot of sounds. So let's make just a place where we're going to keep them all. So we'll do a door close. And we'll have a footstep. Okay, and to load sounds, we just call load wave instead of load music. These are OGGs though. I wonder if that matters. Let's find out. So what does load music return? It returns a music. And load wave returns a chunk. Okay, load wave can load OGG files. So that's fine. So it just needs a path, so let's give it, we'll start with footsteps. Footstep 00.ogg. I was trying to see if VS Code would actually play the sound. It knows it's a sound, but it can't play it. Okay. So this returns a chunk. How do we play chunks? Play channel. Okay. So chunk and music. Okay, so these are all chunks. SDL, no, mixer chunks. Pointers to mixer chunks. So we'll say UI.sounds.footstep. This will have sounds in it. Got an error somewhere. There. So now all we need to do is play the sound. So we'll have to be a little bit clever here because we'll actually need to check to see if the player's moved before we play the sound effect. I'm just going to play it every time. that we draw a level for now. So we'll try UI.sounds.footstep.play. We need a channel. Where do we get a channel? Is a channel just an int? Okay, it is just an int. I think the purpose of channels is so you can play multiple sounds at the same time. If you do that, each one has to be on a different channel. Let's look up the documentation again. So, documentation, framed. Play channel. Okay, yeah, so -1 means you'll just take the first free unreserved channel. So if you don't want to think about it too much, you can probably always use that and it will work out for simple things. Chunk is the sample to play. Loops is how many loops, which we're just going to want once probably. So -1, 1. Simple. All right, it's working. It's not a good sound though, and it's too loud. Let's try some of the other footstep sounds. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a lot of footsteps. Let's do it louder. All right, so how do we make these quieter? Volume. But what does volume want? Back to there we go. Volume. Channel volume. Chunk had a volume too. Volume chunk. There we go. So you can go from 0 to 128 for the maximum volume. So let's try halfway. I don't know, I think it's kind of annoying. Still. Oh, chat is saying that the loops is possibly 0 based, so that we're playing it twice. You're right. It's funny, this sounds a lot like the Avernum games. I wonder if he used the same sound. I don't know if you guys have seen them. They have old school graphics, kind of like we're doing, but they're really, really big games, like Ultima 7 style big. This one's got a really similar sound when you walk around. They're pretty cool. It's just like one guy and an artist who does these. So something we can do, because it'll get really annoying if you just hear the same footstep sound over and over and over, is we can load all the footsteps and play them randomly. Kind of the same approach we're doing with these tiles, right? There's different variants of the wall, and we're showing them randomly, so there's some variation. So we can try that with the sound too. So it's a little more interesting. So we'll make these arrays. And we'll make a function yeah, we'll make a function called play random sound, which will take an array of sounds. Maybe it'll take the volume too. And maybe loops. I think loops is, for our purposes, always going to be 1, so I'm going to skip it. So we'll say we could just make a new random number here. I think we can just use it directly. Okay, so between 0 and n exclusive. So it'll be chunks, length of chunks. So we can call len on chunks. So chunk index will be a random number between 0 and the length of the chunks. And then we'll just play. -1, 0. We'll also set the volume. All right. And then for here, we'll do a loop. And sound base will be the path to the footsteps. We'll convert the integer I to a string. And append it. So we'll get 1, and then we'll do plus OGG. And then we'll say UI.sounds, .footsteps. This should all be plural now. So we'll come in here, check for the error each time. And we'll append each footstep sound to our footsteps slice. And then down in here, play a random sound, pass it the footsteps, and pass it the volume. I'm going to try lower and lower volume. Footstep file. This should be footstep file. So 0 through 9, are those all there? 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. So that's one option to deal with this. Another one you could do is the footstep sounds you could play could depend on what tile you're on. That might be something we do. Like right now there's only dirt. Dirt's the only floor tile we have, but we could play different ones based on where you are. That's kind of cool. Something to keep in mind when you're playing with audio is some audio libraries, when you pass it a volume, it's actually changing the intensity of the sound linearly with respect to your volume. So if you give it half as big a number, it will make the volume half as loud. But human perception of sound is not linear, so it won't sound half as loud to you. That can just make it can make it hard to work with because you have to know about that, right? You might make a really large change in the volume of your sound, but it doesn't sound very different. You can wonder if it's not working right. So that's something to keep in mind, is that often the library is treating it linearly, but your perception is like logarithmic. And some libraries treat it logarithmically to try and make it feel like it's linear when you change the volume. But some people hate that because it doesn't give them the freedom to handle reality the way they want to. So just something to keep in mind. All right, let's do doors as well, because I think that will be fun. So how many door sounds do we have? Let's go add them all. So right now we're just opening them. So we've got 2. Door open 1, door open 2. All right, so we copied door close in there too. That's fine. Eventually we'll be closing doors, I'm sure. I guess append works when you haven't even declared the slice. I guess that makes sense. I didn't think about that. We didn't say make, but I guess it can handle that. Why am I calling it door closes? We're opening doors. Oh, we need to check for errors and stuff here, so we can't do that. So I'm not going to do a loop because there's only 2 of them. Okay, so the question now is, how do we know from the UI whether a door has been opened? And whether we've taken a step. So I think what we need in our game is some concept of what happened last, like what has just happened. And we already have this event concept. What we could do is we could make the events contain a tag that indicates what they were. Except these events are only the ones we're going to display to the user, and we might want many more events than that. So we probably want something separate, like something that's just the last event. So this will be part of our level, I think. So we'll make an enum for this. Say equals iota. Yeah. The way Go does enums is the strangest in the world. So this would be some of the things that could be events. Maybe pass through a portal could be one. Okay, and we need to set this when we do things. So if we move, then level.last event equals move. If we open a door, then we need door open. If we attack, then we've attacked. So let's start with that. Now in the UI, we'll have visibility into which of these things are happening. So we're not just going to play that every time we draw. I don't think we should even make it part of draw. So here we'll check. We'll say we'll do switch game.move, game.door open, default, add more scenes. Seems good to me. All right. Cool. That's a nice door sound. I like it. This is kind of exciting. I like it. All right, well, that's going to be it for tonight. We got a lot done. I'm pretty happy with it. That's cool. I'll hang on for 5 more minutes in case there's any questions about this stream or previous streams. And if anyone has ideas about what you'd like to do on the next stream, you can let me know in chat. Just some ideas. Can keep working on sound effects. All right, we could do attack sounds and stuff. We could make the visibility circle look nicer. Like make this look nicer. What else? One thing I'd like to do is add the ability to make puzzles in the game. Like have things where you can have like water or lava in your way and you can push blocks over it and stuff. So that's something we could work on. Or any other ideas. So if anyone has thoughts on that, on what you'd like to see next, let me know. Oh, items. It's another big one. This will probably be a pretty big project because we'll have to build some sort of inventory interface, but definitely something you have to do. You can't have a dungeon game without swords to pick up. So chat is suggesting keys, locked doors, and chests and stuff. So yeah, that would be part of the items. This might be good to do next because it's going to be tough. It'll probably be a few episodes to get something workable, I think. And having items can kind of let us make puzzles too, so that could be good. All right, if there's no other questions, I think we'll sign off now. I'm kind of psyched about that door sound. That's fun. All right, guys. Good night, and thank you for tuning in. Oh, chat is suggesting a level making contest. Yeah, that would be fun. And if anyone wants to like submit levels, you can put them in a gist or something and send them through in chat. That'd be fun. We could load up other people's levels and see what they look like. But yeah, it might be more fun to wait until we've got more functionality before we do that. Because right now it would just be different mazes full of rats, which wouldn't be so cool. But good idea. All right, good night, everybody.